Hey, Nate Caldwell here again, and I wanted to discuss with you closing day and the closing week. Congratulations, you've made it this far, you've gone through all the hoops, and we're finally at the part where you become a homeowner. So I want to discuss what is involved, what's kind of happening behind the scenes to keep you in the loop. So once your loan is formally cleared to close, which is the underwriter has cleared all of their conditions, we will then send the file to my closing team. My closing team is going to coordinate with the closing attorney, make sure everything is on board. The closing attorney will then discuss with the seller's side to make sure that they have the appropriate date, all the appropriate documentation, and they've crossed all their T's and dotted their I's. On our end, my closer and the closing attorney are going to work on drafting the final closing disclosure. Now, in the last week or so, you very likely received a document entitled Initial Closing Disclosure. This was a more tightened up version of the loan estimate you received at the initial application. When you received that initial loan estimate, there were simply items that we did not know the exact amounts. Your homeowner's insurance, how much was that going to be? Perhaps we hadn't had your rate locked at the moment. Throughout the process, we've taken care of all of these items, and the initial closing disclosure was sent to you. Again, this was a more tightened up version of that loan estimate, but not the final version. The final version, or the final closing disclosure, is going to be sent to you in the next couple days. The closing attorney and my closing team are collaborating and making sure that all the numbers on the final closing disclosure are as accurate as possible. Once we have this final document, I'll be giving you a call to review this and going through all the numbers to ensure that you understand everything involved on that form, the numbers make sense to you, and they're, of course, everything we've agreed upon, which I'm sure they will be. Once we have all the final numbers hammered out and agreed upon, the next step is getting to the closing table. On the day of closing, or sometimes the night before, you're going to be doing your final walkthrough of the home. This is a final check to make sure the sellers moved all their stuff out. If there was any repairs they agreed to, they've taken care of those, and ensure the property is the condition that you want to buy it in. Assuming it is, you'll then be going to the closing table to sign all the documentation. This process can take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on questions and things of that nature. Once everything is signed and finalized, the closing attorney is then going to take your recorded deed down to town or city hall and get it recorded. This culminating moment is what you've been waiting for and what you've done all this hard work to achieve. At this point, you can consider yourself a homeowner. Congratulations. So although your real estate transaction is over, there's still some tips I want to provide to you in the coming videos about your first few months of home ownership, getting set up for auto pay, things of that nature. I appreciate you sticking with me on these. This is to your benefit, these last couple videos, so I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.